Is that necessary? It's a show tonight. We have a good show for you tonight, as we always do. We'll just start off our show tonight. Alright. That's gonna smell really interesting in like 2 months. It's gonna be okay. I can't help but noticing that you have your hands over your ears. Is it? Your ears are sensitive. Excuse me for a second.
Yeah, that came out. Her ears are sensitive.
Did you hear that the economy was totally repaired? It's fine. Keep shopping. It's gonna be great. Space. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Space. The final frontier. These are the monologues of the astrologer Pete Goldie. Pete Goldie is here to unlock mysteries, to boldly present to you graphs and pie charts out there in outer space. To talk, it's easy to forget that we're in outer space surrounds all of us. Help me out here, Pete.
Oh, hi, Chicken. Is this mic on?
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Tonight I'm going to give the space science report for 18 March 2009.
Whoa.
That's K-Rock.
Whoa. What happened?
You don't know what's happening. You can hear like a gunfire outside your house. No, it's K-Rock.
Was that the phone?
Yeah. You can hear people in the room right next to you, screaming, having a fight, a domestic battle. And that image shows two merging galaxies that are not near us at all. They are billions. No, I exaggerate. They're only millions and millions and millions of light years away. It happens to have two active galactic nuclei, meaning the supermassive black holes at the center of these galaxies are circling each other and throwing out lots of radiation in relativistic jets. It's quite exciting.
That was a band from Jersey, wasn't it?
It's been a relativistic jet.
No, the other one, the active
Nuclei.
Active galactic nuclei.
Yeah.
That's a total Jersey bar band.
Here we are. This is the Ulysses spacecraft put up by the European Space Agency over 18 years ago. And it's a nuclear power reactor that makes electricity. The thing failed to provide enough electricity for its transmitter, main radio transmitter to work. Over a year ago, actually it was about 18 months ago that finally gave up the ghost, and they're just barely transmitting on a feeble, tiny little spare radio hanging out in the corner. And they knew because the thermonuclear reactor wasn't working anymore, it was going to freeze. So they decided that they were going to shut it down July 1st. Well, guess what? It's still running. So you want to know that? Not only is it running, because of its orbit, which goes around the poles of the sun, it's a very special spacecraft, the first and only one that's ever done that. It's now at a point where it's actually approaching Earth, getting so close that it can transmit data out to 1,000 bits a second. 1,000 bits a second. So they're actually getting more data for it, and they decided not to shut it off. It's doing fine. Made in Europe. Mostly by Germans.
Are either of these cameras funny? In any way?
Chicken, when you interrupt my show, you know what happens?
What happens when I interrupt your show?
My daughter, you know what? She's very, very unhappy when you do that. And I didn't know that you were a hippie.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, fortunately, this part of the show is where I bring out my sponsor. Yeah, well anyway.
Made by Italians.
This is a jar that Chicken himself put together. It's actually things that Chicken might say to, nearby, or about hippies, which in fact will be insults. Because we're all pretty sure that Chicken does not like hippies. And this is the first really stoned Chicken spokesmodel I've had out here. You know, just barely able to find the stage. Actually can't find the stage at all. So I don't know when this bit will end, but sooner or later, a Chicken will approach me with a product and hand it to me instead of where I said to hand it. Here you go, Chicken John. Thank you very much. Things that Chicken might say to, hereby, or about hippies.
Manja, manja, hippies. Oh, brave pioneers of douchery. Really, I would say that? Douchery? Die, hippie, die.
Yeah.
What's that smell? Patchouli? I wish. Ass, grass, or gas? Hey hippie, yeah, you with the guitar, can you please play Redemption Song while I beat you with your bong? Today's hippies are the third generation of people who don't want to be like their parents.
I think that's true.
That's funny. How come it only takes one hippie to make a drum circle?
Yeah, I always wondered about that.
Hippies are just tweakers too lazy to score meth. Wow. Emos are hippies with a bright future. Druggy hippie, didgeridoo hippie, smelly panhandling hippie scum, college know-it-all hippie, whatever. Really? I hate hippies because they make me feel sorry for people with real problems.
And the bottom of that jar
There's a bunch of pot.
bunch of pot.
Buncho pot. Yay!
So there's a bunch of pot here if anybody wants some pot.
Now, everyone remembers that famous image of Earthrise taken by Apollo 8 back in 1968, 31 years ago. And does this look like it?
No.
Well, very astute. This image, in fact, was taken 2 years before Apollo 8
Wow.
took that famous image of the Earth rising over the moon. How can that?
How can that
Man had
happen?
not been to the moon.
No.
How could they have taken this?
How did this happen?
It's all
2
fake.
years before.
It's not real. It's a painting. No, it's a mirror. Smoke.
Well, our faithful robotic spacecraft
Yay!
were there before man was there. In fact, we launched 4 lunar orbiters. They were called lunar orbiters back then, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
And they gave them fancy names and named them after Carl Sagan or Steve Corbell or anyone. They just set them up there. And they took some wonderful pictures. And this, as you can see, is a very high-resolution picture you've never seen before. Back then, in 1966, when this went to the moon, we did not have digital cameras.
No.
We did not have high-resolution video cameras. When we were taking pictures from space, and we were taking pictures from space of the Earth, they would take pictures with film, and they would drop it back through the atmosphere and catch it up midair with a plane and develop it. And Skyhook, very good, yeah. And that's how they would get. So if you send one to the moon, there's not enough rocket fuel to come back and bring that negative back. The way they did it back then is they sent a spacecraft up there with a long roll of film. It would take all the pictures, they would develop the film, they would scan the negatives, and then transmit it back.
Nice.
Yes, how do you like that? They never showed these to the public because that would let the Ruskies know how good our technology was. And we had very nice high-resolution pictures. Now, what do they do with all these pictures? Well, next image I think will help explain it to you. The magnetic tapes have all been found in a McDonald's at Ames NASA Research Center. And this is, in fact, an abandoned McDonald's.
What?
At Ames. And it has something like 28,000 pounds of magnetic tapes.
Nice.
Now the story doesn't end there, because all those magnetic tapes can only be read by the Ampex
That's right.
FR900 videotape player.
How many of those work?
There are none of those in
Yay!
operation anymore.
Yeah.
They scoured the planet and they found 4 almost operational ones that had almost all the parts, but none of those would read these tapes because, of course, they had a special scan rate for the lunar voyages. Wow. So they've been working at putting these back together. There's only one person who can fix the tape hesitation of the planet, and they're working on it. Now, the reason they couldn't use one of those 4 the drives that they found work was a special demodulator was made only for the project. And the next image will show you that they have, in fact, rebuilt this demodulator from scratch, from intuition, from old spare parts, and from just plain
cool old guys.
And they've got it all working. They're reading off all of those tapes, and they're going to digitize them and make them available. And they are actually pretty good pictures. They're very nice images of the moon. They're going to use those for our future moon exploration. Pictures taken back in the mid-1960s. I thought you'd like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And, all those people come up to me all the time going, hey, man didn't go to the moon. Well, so what? Our robots went there. They definitely did. Yes, I'd like everyone to know that.
Is that Burning Man?
Yeah, that's it. It was really awesome last Friday. They launched Burning Man into orbit last Friday, and everything went fine. Everything went perfectly except that little red circle there.
What happened with the circle?
Let's zoom in on that. This is the external fuel tank, and there was a bat hanging outside of the tank.
That bat is fucked.
Yeah, next picture, please. Yeah, this is it as it is actually quite gaining a lot of speed. And
Oh no!
I don't know what happened to that bat. You know, the tank doesn't reach orbit. The tank only gets close to orbit and then is abandoned and burns up in the atmosphere. No word on the bat.